Hey guys, how's it going, and welcome back to your football predictions, and happy Easter, happy bank holiday weekend. I'm very excited for the long weekend, a few extra days off this week, and I'm also happy that I'm making a video without having to use lights for a change. It's actually sunny outside, and I know I normally post these videos on the Thursday night, but I went out for a few drinks and some food last night to kick off the Easter in a good way. But I'm up this morning and we are going to take a look at my predictions from last week's prediction video. No correct scores from me. Again, it's just what happens every week for me, unfortunately. But as always, you guys do a lot better. Went 1-1 in the Leicester-Newcastle game. Newcastle won 1-0, so very happy about that. Burnley beat Cardiff 2-0, which wasn't great for Cardiff. But then, after that game, in the midweek, Cardiff went and beat Brighton, which has made things very interesting. Liverpool-Chelsea, I went 2-2. Liverpool won 2-0, so big win for Liverpool there. And then Watford-Arsenal, I did say that Arsenal would win 2-0. They actually won 1-0. So 2 correct outcomes, no correct scores for me. As always, loads of you guys got involved, loads of predictions from everyone, so thank you very much. And I had 5 people who got 2 correct scores. It's normally maybe get 1 or 2 people get 2 correct scores, but we've got 5 this week. They were Burnsy Boy, Ryan, Palfrey, Will and William. So big up to all of these guys. I've put all their YouTube links down in the description and I've subscribed to all of them, so make sure you guys go and check them out as well. And if you want to be shouted out in next week's prediction video, make sure to get your predictions down in the comments below. But as always, I've picked 4 games and we'll go through them now. There is literally so much football going on right now. It kicks off tomorrow on the Saturday, then we've got Sunday, Monday night football, Tuesday, Wednesday. I think there isn't any on the Thursday, but then there is on the Friday, Saturday, so there is so much football and I can't do predictions for all of the games, so I'm going to do a few from the weekend, 1 from the midweek, and then we'll come back next week and then get on with the next weekend of games. But anyway, to start things off, we are looking at the 12:30 game tomorrow on the Saturday, Man City taking on Spurs. I'm sure you all saw it the other day when Man City played Spurs. Well, they've played each other twice in the Champions League. Spurs won the first one 1-0, and then what a game it was the other day when Man City won 4-3. So many goals, so many ups and downs. The offside goal right at the end of the game, and Spurs went through on away goals, and they now play Ajax in the semi-final. I know Ajax beat Juventus and they've beaten Madrid as well, but of the teams left in it, Liverpool and Barcelona, I think Spurs have probably got a decent draw there and could be making it to a final of the Champions League if they win that game. So good luck to Spurs. But as for this game in the Premier League, obviously, as I've mentioned, we've just seen them play each other twice very recently. Man City are going to want to get a bit of payback, and also they are 2 points off Liverpool, who are top of the league. So if they win this game, they will go top. Obviously, it depends what happens in the Liverpool game later in the weekend. And Man City also have a game in hand over Liverpool, which they play in the midweek, which we'll also talk about later. But winning this game would be a very good start. Obviously, Champions League-wise, they'll be gutted about getting knocked out. But Premier League-wise, I think they've won their last 14 Premier League games in a row, so that is certainly a record they're going to want to keep going. As for Spurs, I know they did lose technically against Man City in the last game they played against each other, but they will be buzzing to be making it through to the semi-final, and they're going to want to try and beat Man City because, again, that Champions League spot situation is ongoing, and I think it will continue all the way till the end of the season. They are currently sitting in 3rd place, but they are just 1 point ahead of Arsenal and Chelsea. As for a prediction on this one, I mean, I honestly have no idea. The fact that they've just played each other recently, now Spurs are going to have to think about, they want that Champions League spot for next season, but at the same time, they've got to start thinking about what they're going to do with regard to the semi-final coming up. Harry Kane out of action at the moment. Man City, because they're not concentrating on the Champions League. I know they've still got the FA Cup final, but it's really about the Premier League to concentrate on for them now. So, I don't know. if we can have another 4-3 to one of them, I'll be buzzing because that'll be a great game to watch. As for a winner, 2-2. And I'm really interested to see what you guys have got to think about this. Man City are at home. They're going to want the payback. They want to get top of the league. But Spurs will be on such a high after the last game. I don't know. I'm just going to stick with what I said. 2-2. Next up, still on the Saturday, but the 5:30 game, we have got Newcastle taking on Southampton. So Newcastle are sitting in 15th place. Southampton are sitting in 16th place. Obviously, it's at 5:30. It's been moved to 5:30 for the television. And they've obviously done that because they thought it was going to be a real grudge match between Newcastle and Southampton. Two teams down in the relegation battle. But, and as it's not mathematically exact just yet, but I think both teams are pretty much safe, and for that reason I don't think it's going to be the most entertaining game. Having said that, I am hoping Newcastle are going to put on a good show and continue the winning streak, because after the win at Leicester on Friday night last week, we're pretty much safe. I don't know, I just don't like jinxing myself on camera basically, but I think we are safe. And to do it against Leicester away, just as we did last season, was pretty good. So Newcastle are currently 7 points clear of Cardiff. Southampton are 5 points clear of Cardiff. So you're really looking at for Newcastle, you're looking at Cardiff to win 3 out of the last 4 games. For Southampton, they need to win 2 out of the last 4. And even then, that's assuming that Brighton are winning their games as well. So these two teams are looking pretty safe right now. As I say, I'm not going to jinx it just yet. But Newcastle's recent form in the Premier League hadn't been too great, but then obviously, as I mentioned, the fantastic win on the Friday night. Hopefully the lads off on holiday now, they are going to put in a good shift, especially with being on the telly and everyone's watching it. I want to see a good show and another 3 points just to cement it down that we're good for next season. Southampton's form has been a bit up and down. They've had a few good wins against Spurs. They also beat Brighton, which was a pretty big game for them. The most recent game, they beat Wolves. And Southampton also have a game in hand over Cardiff as well. So if they were to win that one as well, then they're off. But prediction on this one, I'm a Newcastle fan, you all know it, and I always try and stay down the line and impartial on all of these, but I'm pretty confident for this one. As I say, a really good win against Leicester, so I'm actually going to go 2-0 to Newcastle. Southampton have got a very long journey up to the northeast, so I'm hoping we're going to grab the 3 points. Next up on the Sunday at 4 o'clock, the team I've been talking about a fair bit. Cardiff are taking on Liverpool. So 2 teams, opposite end of the tables, both looking to do very different things. Cardiff in the relegation zone trying, and I mean the win against Brighton that they had was fantastic. It's really put themselves in a position where they could get out of that relegation zone before the end of the season. And then we've got Liverpool, who, as I mentioned, still 2 points ahead of Man City, but Man City have that game in hand. So Liverpool are going to want to try and win every game through to the end of the season and hope that Man City drop some points. Cardiff's recent form, as you'd imagine, sitting in the relegation zone, hasn't been great, but as I said, the win over Brighton will really, really spur them on for this game. As for Liverpool, first off, big up Liverpool for making it through to the semi-final of the Champions League, beating Porto. They've now drawn, well, Barcelona, which is going to be very, very tough. You've got to say, I would say Barcelona are the best team still in the tournament. But, you know, we've seen Ajax beat Juventus. I wouldn't have expected that. So you just don't know. As for Premier League, again, I've mentioned it, Liverpool are currently sitting 2 points ahead of Man City, but Man City have got the game in hand, so Liverpool are going to want to win this game. I think I've included this one because I genuinely think this could be a pretty good game. If Cardiff can hold on or maybe grab an early goal or something, I know Liverpool will be just as motivated as Cardiff are, but I think it could make for a good one. Depending on how the game goes, you know, if Liverpool get an early goal, I think it's likely Liverpool are going to run away with it and get maybe 3 or 4. But if Cardiff could hold off or maybe grab themselves near the goal, I think it could be interesting. Having said that, Liverpool are great. Very, very good team. We've seen what they can do this season, and they're that close. I think both teams will be very determined, but I think the quality will show for Liverpool. So I'm going to go 3-1 Liverpool. But if Cardiff can get that goal first, it would make things very interesting. And to finish things off, I'm skipping a few days ahead into the midweek. I know I normally do the weekend, but there's so many games on, and this is one I wanted to include. And it's on the Wednesday night at 8 o'clock. And it is the Manchester derby. Man United taking on Man City. So Man United are out of the Champions League. They lost to Barcelona in both legs. And to be honest, Barcelona are a good side. You know, as I say, anything can happen in a game. A mistake from Ashley Young, fair play, a very, very good goal from Messi. That was 1. Mistake from De Gea, that was 2. And at that point, it was going to be a real struggle for Man U to get back in the game. And then Barcelona wrapped it up with a few more goals. So now, Man U need 4th in the Premier League, which is why this game is very, very big for them. Man U are currently 2 points off Arsenal. So as I say, they need to get a good result here, and they've also still got to play Chelsea as well, who are another team in it for that top 4 spot. So a win against Man City will be a great start for that, and then looking to go on and beat Chelsea. And I'm interested to know as well, obviously Man U want to win every game, but the 2 rivals that they've got, Man City and Liverpool, are the 2 fighting for the top spot. So a win for Man U over Man City, I think, would be not handing Liverpool the title, because there's still games to go. But in terms of games left, I would say that the rest of Liverpool's games this season are very winnable. And I would say for Man City, other than the Spurs and Man U game they've got coming up across this weekend and midweek, after that the games are pretty winnable as well. So we're really going to find out this weekend what's happening with the top 2 places. Depending on how these games go. As for a prediction, I think a lot of this could depend on what happens in the Man City Spurs game as well, because they've not had a huge amount of rest. If Man City were to go ahead and beat Spurs, they've obviously got a very rotational side, and they're going to want to win every game they can. But at the same time, if Man City were to lose against Spurs, they would need to win this game. So I don't know, I just want to stick a draw on everything, to be honest. Because honestly, I do not know who to predict. But at the same time, things can turn around very quickly. And I also think because Man U have been knocked out of the Champions League and now they're desperate for 4th, despite them not playing very well, something in me is telling me that they could pull one over on Man City here. So I'm actually going to go 2-1 Man U. I could be completely wrong. Judging on recent form and everything else, Man City should realistically win this game by a few goals, but for some reason I'm just feeling that Man U could do something. But as always, there's been a few tough ones to predict today, so make sure you let me know what you think down below. And that's it, guys, that's where I'm going to end it. Those are my predictions up there, so as always, get your predictions down in the comments below, and I will go through all of them before the first game kicks off tomorrow at 12:30. 5 minutes before that game starts, I'll make a note of everyone's scores, and I will shout out the winner in next week's video. Obviously, you've not got as long to get your predictions in this time. It's all of today and tomorrow morning, so sorry you've not had too much time. But as always, guys, thank you all for watching. Drop a like on the video and subscribe if you are new. Enjoy the long weekend and the Easter, and I will be at the Newcastle game tomorrow versus Southampton, so look out for that video as well. Hoping for 3 points to the tune. Alright, thank you for watching. Have a great day. Catch you later.